Good morning, everybody. We are doing part 3, finally, of this video. Kind of what we're carrying, I guess, your trapping kit. As you can see, this year we got everything ready to go for the most part. New wires, chains up to date. Got everything set on our traps. If you have any question about that, look at part 1. As far as what I carry, hang on a second. And we're back. As far as what I carry, what I think you should carry if you're trapping and targeting predators for the most part, or even just trapping. This is kind of my overall trapping setup. Yeah, if I'm doing something abnormal, I'll carry something abnormal. But for the most part, I trap out of my Yamaha. Sometimes I take a truck. Not so much anymore. Just keeps wear and tear off the truck. Do things a lot faster. It seems like it's a lot easier. Just carry side by side with you and use it where you can. Now, if you're trapping under bridges and stuff, obviously you'll be trapping out of your truck. But the handy dandy 5-gallon bucket. Yeah, you can buy trapping packs and everything else. You got a banana for me?
Yeah, it's open. Yeah, yummy.
Oh my goodness, thank you, bud.
Yeah.
I got an upside down banana. But anyway, yeah, you can buy trapping packs and all that, but they're not as, I just think they're not as easy as a bucket. They might be better for some people, but not for me. So here's what I do. For the most part, start with bait. This is a sheath from a Walmart multi-tool. It works phenomenally. Now you can mount as many of those as you can around here. Makes it super easy. The key to keeping this stuff off of you, if you're worried about smelling like glands all the time, is keeping these threads in this lid clean. It's a lot easier said than done. But when you snap these down and carry them there, don't let them roll around the bottom of your bucket, bottom of your bag, or whatever. It makes it a lot easier to keep that clean. You can snap that shut. Like I said, you can mount as many of these as you want. This particular bucket, I've got one mounted. All I do to modify the bucket, I cut a notch here and here. And what that does, if I'm on a 4-wheeler, I can put it on the rack and strap my bucket down. Back here, if I'm doing something or going somewhere that's kind of rough, I can strap it down to these strap points. As far as dispatching tool, I carry 2 things. I carry a cheap little revolver, little Chiappa revolver with the fake ivory grips because I'm classy. Just little Atwoods cheap leather holsters that tie to the side. I used to carry 1022, but it's a little bit lighter, but oh my gosh, is it easier to have your gun in your bucket all the time. Little cheap gun, you don't have to worry about tearing it up. The 22, it is the way to go. The second thing I carry is this catch pole. I got this from Okie Trapping Cable. It is just a really simple, basic little catch pole. If you want to let something out, it comes in handy. If you got a mean dog caught on accident and you want to let out or whatever, it's handy. Or if you want to, dispatch something without putting a hole in it, it's also handy there. Just nice to carry around with you. You can make them yourself pretty cheap out of PVC and cable. Probably even come up with something else. I carry conibear setters. I used to not, because my pride was huge, but even though it set a conibear by hand, this is 10,000 times easier, and it's worth the wait. Honestly, they're usually not in my bucket. They're either in the back of the truck or back side by side just because of the extra weight. And if I'm running a conibear, it's generally in a spot where I'm not carrying my bucket, but I do carry those with me. This is just a cheap Walmart hatchet. Yeah, I dyed it in my trap dye speed dip the other day. I think this is the best way to go. Yeah, they have the 3-in-1 trapper tools. They have you could use a small shovel. You could use the cookie cutters. But as far as this goes, you can use it as a shovel. It works well as a cookie cutter because you can cut out the shape of whatever trap you're using. If I'm using this old square jaw trap, it's huge, and I got a cookie cutter. A cookie cutter is great if you have 4,000 traps are all the same trap. But if you're like me, and you got more elsewhere also that are just, you got number 11s, you got number 2 long springs, you got number 2 coil springs, you got 1.5s, you got these old square jaw number 2s. A cookie cutter, for the most part, you're still gonna have to cut, and then you're still gonna have to make it where it's the right size hole for your trap. It's one more thing to carry, but with this, I can just cookie cut my way in about 2.3 seconds of whatever size I want. Hit where you want to go. If I'm on my lever right here, hit, turn, hit, turn, hit, turn. Just kind of scoop it up at the right depth, and voila, you've got a cookie cutter. And on the plus side, you're also carrying a hatchet. I carry a flathead screwdriver, a pretty heavy built one. The reason for this is if I have, when you catch a coyote, a lot of times they mess up your dog on your trap for whatever reason. Maybe it's because they're a dog, I don't know. But a long head screwdriver is good for bending your dog's back. Find a rock, hit it with the back of your hatchet, use it for a hammer. You can straighten your dog out. If you need to adjust your pan tension, more on that, see part 1 on my opinions with that. But anyways, if you want to adjust your pan tension, you got a screwdriver for that. Makes it it's a good tool to have. And then also, if you need to, what I do a lot of times, if I'm making a dirt hole set, I'll flip it around. Yeah, it's when my threads are my threads in, my screwdriver a little boogered up. I'll flip it around, knock a hole in the ground, stab it in, waller it out, loosen the dirt. It just makes that quick, simple, easy. It's just nice to carry a flathead screwdriver. And if you need to have some kind of little chisel, you got that. I'd buy a cheap one that's heavy built because you're going to tear it up, but it works good. Also, absolute must-have if you're doing any kind of conibears, maybe outside of 110s, but there's a safety for those. I carry that with me in my bucket all the time, even when I'm not running a conibear trap or setting a conibear trap, just because it's one of those things, if you don't keep it on you all the time, when you need it, you're not going to have it. It's going to be in the side pocket of your pickup, you're going to leave it at the house, it might be in the pocket of your other jacket, so I just carry it with me all the time. I'm going to say it, if you don't carry these, you're stupid. You can also use a rope for this, but it's just buy these. They're cheap, they're easy, they work, and you're not going to break your arm. Well, you're not going to break your arm anyway, but you're not going to hurt your arm. And then, as I think I covered in part 2, maybe not, I generally don't use dirt. Dirt holds moisture, dirt holds scent, dirt holds moisture, moisture freezes. Grass does not do any of that. It's a lot better. You can overgrass it, but if you're light on the grass, remember the animal don't know the trap there. The trap is there, and hopefully you're smarter than him anyways. So using grass, less moisture, less scent. Cut it in about 1 inch section with your scissors. So I carry 2 pairs of scissors. There's 2 routes to go on this. You can buy a high dollar pair of scissors. It'll probably last a long time that you can sharpen. Works out good. Or you can buy cheap scissors and burn through them. So I generally buy cheap scissors and burn through them just because the truth is it's hard to find a good pair of scissors nowadays. Other than that, I will usually carry, and I ain't got it in my bucket right now because I was using it on another project the other day, but I will have a pair of pliers devoted to, maybe, what's that? I'll have another pair of pliers. Usually I carry this pair just because they're old and I found them. If I lose them, mess them up, no big deal. I'll carry a pair of pliers in there. Like I said, if you have to make adjustments on your traps, whatever, it's just handy. And then you got it all in a handy dandy bucket. If you're doing a lot of walking, trapping, you can buy, look at Amazon, they got packs for bucket straps for next to nothing. They're cheap. Turn your bucket into a backpack, which I think is then still superior to the different things you can buy as far as what's the same? Different trap packs and buckets and those wicker things, whatever they are. I'm not into wicker. Sorry. I think it's dumb. If you don't think it's dumb, more power to you. If it works for you, awesome. But I'm telling you, where to go? Atwood's bucket is the way to go. If you don't have an Atwood's, buy a bucket somewhere else. I'm an Atwood's fan. I usually try to buy a camouflage bucket just because. Well, I have a yellow bucket when you have a camouflage bucket. I've got 75,000 cat litter bucket because my wife's a cat lady, but I want a camouflage bucket. I don't want everybody to know where my traps are at. If I'm trapping somewhere that I could conceivably be seen, yeah, they might see me pull over on the side of the road or the side of whatever. But if, like I said, if I'm somewhere I could conceivably be seen, why not have a camouflage bucket and hunker down so someone that might steal your animal, steal your trap, you know, just keep a low profile. That can go either way. That's personal preference. I will carry a roll of, where's that? Roll of wire somewhere. I guess I could use an actual camera that I got in the house. Boom, wire, there it is. I will carry a roll of tie wire. If you got baling wire, that's better. But as far as just on the line with me, I'll carry a small roll of tie wire, usually in the truck, and side by side, four wheeler, whatever. And to make any kind of repairs, you know, you need to do with wire, it's just handy. Even if you're not trapping, just carry a roll of wire with you all the time in life. You'd be surprised. Get you out of bind every now and then. It's like the primitive version of a zip tie, but I also carry zip ties. Wire. If you need a 47 foot long, you know, 47 foot long, but it's kind of hard to find a 47 foot long zip tie. But if I need a 47 foot long zip tie, I can have a 48 foot piece of wire. Kind of handy. Anyways, that's it. I want to add this part 3. Honestly, I done filmed it like twice, but when I was doing that, I pull my banana down farther. But when I was doing that, first go around, the ran out of memory on my SD cards, so now I bought more SD cards. Then I lost more SD cards, and now I bought more SD cards again. But second time, it wasn't trapping season. I wanted to film it, and you know, it's just not the same when you're not involved in it currently. You know, in the middle of summertime, I'm more worried about this, that, and the other, and it's, like I said, it's just not the same. But anyways, tight chains if you're trapping. If you're not, trap and then tight chains. And y'all have a great day. If you want to know more about it, you stumble across part 3 first. Watch part 1 and 2. Editing skills and videos are a little rough. And even the dialogue, but I think for the most part, get my point across. If you disagree with me, let me know. Awesome. Different things work better for different people. Some people like giant traps, some people like small traps. I'll show y'all what works for me, the way I like to do it. Like I said, I primarily trap for predators, but I ain't above trapping, you know, a mink and a coon. That stuff's just as fun. It's just, where do you want to target? Anyways, I'll let y'all get at it. Thanks for watching.